You are Locked On 76ers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
How about them 10-9-8 76ers, ladies and gentlemen? Clap your hands. Sixers get a win, finally, over the Orlando Magic. That's fun. Paul George plays in the game. Paul George is a team high 21 points in the game. KJ Martin goes off. Johnny on the spot with putback jams, follow-up jams, attacking the rim, being aggressive, doing his thing tonight to help the Sixers to this victory, getting the 102-94 win over the Orlando Magic. Look, there's been a lot of vague things said about Joel Embiid over the last decade, but I believe, and it might be possible, that before tonight's game, and I don't know what he's going to say post-game, I'll keep my eye on social media, Nick Nurse may have set a new record for vagueness regarding Joel Embiid, so we'll get into that. And then as far as this game goes, again, KJ Martin, great. Paul George, phenomenal. It was good to see him back. I mean, phenomenal for him, you know what I mean, with the injury and fighting back from it and all that. But Tyrese Maxey, the last three games have been a little bit of a struggle for him. It looks like he is very much concerned, more so than ever, with the fact that he is not getting fouls called. Now, later in this game, he started to get some fouls called on him. About a week ago, he got some fouls called on him. And I don't know if this is just a period. It honestly looks like a dedicated effort to get attention from the officials that we're done with him not getting calls anymore. Like the Sixers are done with him not getting calls anymore. So I don't know if this is something with great intent where they're really campaigning and lobbying for calls for Tyrese Maxey to get the attention on him and to say, hey, man, I'm an NBA All-Star over here. Probably going to be one again if he gets back on track. I deserve some calls here. And it certainly seems like a concerted effort to get him calls. I don't know if that's the case. It's my own little conspiracy theory. We'll dissect it after we talk about how much fun this win was tonight for the Sixers and where the Orlando Magic struggled mightily in this game. We'll talk about that and more. But welcome in to Locked On Sports Philadelphia. This is Locked On 76ers Postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta, and it's wonderful to have you along for the ride. Don't forget that your favorite podcast now has a newsletter, by the way, introducing the Locked On 76ers daily newsletter, one-stop shopping for ultimate team and league coverage. That's right, just one stop. You don't even need to shop. Delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. And start your day with the all-new free Locked On 76ers daily newsletter. This particular episode is brought to you by the wonderful people, the incredible people at the Game Time app. So download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONNBA, and take advantage of all they have to offer when you talk about the Game Time app. You download the app, you use that promo code Locked On NBA for $20 off your first purchase with the Locked On NBA for $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. So take advantage of everything right there on the Game Time app. Let's get into it. Three big things. Number one, the thing that I have been focused on for quite some time when it comes to this 10-9-8 76ers team is how you're going to get help off the bench. We can talk about Maxey, and we'll get to him. We're going to talk about Paul George and the health and all that stuff, but you need help off the bench on this team. Sure, you need Maxey to get on fire again, Paul George to play consistently. That MVP candidate, the guy, Joel Embiid, I think it is, he needs to play. But they need some kind of spark off the bench. Jared McCain has been doing that for them. He's back in the starting lineup against this Magic team with Paul George being out 2 nights ago. But KJ Martin took on that role tonight. And one of the things that really impressed me about what he was able to do in tonight's basketball game is look how he was just around the rim. This is what he did throughout the entire night tonight. Always around the rim. Took 2 threes in the ball game tonight, made one of them. I'm fine with that. But everything he had was cutting to the lane. He was following guys that were slashing through the lane. He was being aggressive in that regard, and he was making things happen. If guys were missing layups, bang, Johnny on the spot right there for the putback follow-up jam. Seeing that from him tonight was a thing of beauty. And he has been doing this over the last handful of games. And all in all, again, now, 9 of 10 shooting. This is where you look at the box score and you go, wow, 9 of 10 shooting. He's incredible. Well, look at everything. He was right there around the rim all night long. I mean, you're talking about barely getting outside the semicircle under the rim. 1 of 2 from beyond the arc, as you see right there. Got 1 free throw attempt. He was able to hit it. One of the few Sixers tonight that did not struggle from the free throw line. And in total, he was a +7 on the evening. Also chipped in 3 rebounds with 2 assists. 2 of his rebounds were putbacks on offensive rebounds. So good to see that for some second chance points for a total of 20 points, a season high. If you're able to get that from him, and this again is not the first time he's been doing this for the Sixers. I referenced it back a week ago, last Saturday. When he was out there against the Charlotte Hornets. Against the Detroit Pistons. He goes out there, he drops in 19 points in that game. He was able to top that tonight, but then he had 9 points against the Hornets, 11 points against the Orlando Magic on Wednesday night, and he has just been consistent for the Sixers in terms of being aggressive and being the guy to follow a shooter or a scorer through the lane, waiting for the breadcrumbs, waiting for the crumbs to fall off the table, and then he puts it right back up there. So I love seeing this from KJ Martin. Great for him. Number 2. Paul George, just continue to look healthy, babe. Just continue to look healthy. And Paul George was certainly doing that throughout the ball game tonight. Got out to a great start for the Sixers after that first quarter. You saw that he was healthy. You saw that he was feeling strong. Had 6 points, had a 3 as well in that first quarter. Helped the Sixers to just be behind by 2, actually, after the first quarter there. It was 27-25 after the first. But then he really started picking it up. He would go on to be 2 for 7 from beyond the arc. Not great, but still knocking down 2 threes for a team that's been struggling from beyond the arc. 8 of 19 from the floor. Only had 4 free throws in this game, but really helped the Sixers start to solidify things in that fourth quarter. Things started to get a little out of hand, out of nowhere. All of a sudden, the Orlando Magic, who struggled from beyond the arc throughout this game, 1 for 8, I believe it was, in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, they started to go off a little bit from there. But Paul George, at the start of that fourth quarter, knocked down a step-back 3 at about the 10-15 mark of that fourth quarter that gave the Sixers a little bit of momentum. 78-61 gave them that lead. Then you started to see the Magic start to go off a little bit from 3. But there was Paul George and also Tyrese Maxey to help the Sixers close out this victory. So although Maxey concerns, we'll get to it. All in all, in 2 of the last 4 fourth quarters, if he has struggled throughout a game, he has stepped up big time in the fourth quarter to help the Sixers be able to close out a victory. But Paul George tonight, big thing for me was 21 points, 9 assists for Paul George. This is not something I was very much expecting, but over the last couple of games here, he has really got his teammates involved. And now you're also looking, on a side note here, which I think is very significant, back-to-back games where he's playing 37 minutes. Of course, he didn't play Wednesday night, but back-to-back games that he's played in where he's logged more than 37 minutes. So that's great to see. It's the first time he's been able to do that in the short time he's been with the 76ers. So that's great to see. But looking over his last couple of games here now, you're looking at 9 assists that he had against Orlando tonight. Against Charlotte, remember, he had 8 assists in that game. He had 5 against the Pistons in just 26 minutes on the floor. But love seeing him get everybody else involved. He's not forcing shots. He's staying within his own. I know we use this term all the time in football, but it could be applied to all sports, and I'm going to refer to it right now in basketball. Paul George isn't playing hero ball. He's not putting it all on his back. He's seeing guys that are open, and he's hitting them for open shots, and they're converting. So they're helping him out in that regard as well. So love what I've been seeing from Paul George, and love 37 minutes 3 nights ago, 37 minutes again tonight. Love to see that from him. It shows that knee is coming along just fine and dandy. Tyrese Maxey. Love Tyrese Maxey. I'm a big Tyrese Maxey fan. Huge. I'm hosting an event tomorrow night, right? And Tyrese Maxey's parents are going to be there, and I'm stoked to meet his parents. He seems like a great kid. I'm sure he's got wonderful parents. I love the video of them being the ones to tell him, hey, you won most improved player in the NBA. That's pretty cool. I also would have liked to see a video where they tell him that they just signed him to a $150 million deal. That would have been cool too. That video didn't get released, but they did walk him through the own Maxey Museum, if you remember that. But anyway, looking at him over the last couple of games, as I said in the open, he just doesn't look right. The most he looked right was like tonight he was 5 for 17 overall for 16 points, I think is what he ended up finishing with. Yeah, 16 points tonight. So 16 points for 17 shots, not great. But if you look at the last couple of games here, even going back to Charlotte, where he was great in the fourth quarter and helped the Sixers really ice that game by getting to the free throw line and finishing up with 21 points. And I think it was 11 of his 21 points coming in that fourth quarter. That was great. But the night leading up to that fourth quarter against Charlotte, struggled. And he's been struggling from three. We're looking at 7 threes in each of his last 3 games. Of these 3 games, he has now gone 2 for 21. 2 for 21 from beyond the arc. Not sustainable. If I was going to say, other than how he performed in the third quarter, which is really where he got most of his points. Other than that, and he still struggled from 3 in that quarter. But other than that, if there's an encouraging number that I attached to Tyrese Maxey tonight, it's the number 7. And he was 5 for 7 from the free throw line today. I'll get to the Sixers' full numbers as a team in a second, but 7 free throws in this game. He had 11 free throws, most of them in the final 3 minutes there against the Charlotte Hornets. But if you could consistently get him to the line now, finally, then that's the NBA finally, and the officiating crew is acknowledging, we got to start calling these on Maxey. He's no longer just that kid anymore that we can ignore. He's no longer Jared McCain, another guy they love to ignore, but at least I get that because he's a rookie, even though I hate that's the way the world works. That's the way the NBA world works. But I have to believe, my conspiracy theory, I feel, is very true. Call it a hunch. Tyrese Maxey, and I'm sure Nick Nurse, because let's not forget who Nick Nurse is. Let's not forget about all the times the Sixers faced Nick Nurse in the postseason, especially after Kawhi Leonard, and they faced the Raptors in the playoffs, and how often Nick Nurse was in the officiating crew's ear fighting tooth and nail for his team, for his players, because he knew it was the only chance they would have of winning. And he was lobbying for them to get calls, lobbying that Joel Embiid shouldn't get as many calls as he's been getting. And he's hunting for fouls and all that. Well, guess what? Nick Nurse is still Nick Nurse, and Nick Nurse is still going to do that for his team. He made a career out of it in Toronto, among other things. It's not like that's all he does. But I believe right now, knowing that they're in this situation right now with Joel Embiid, where they don't know when they're going to have him and for how long if they do have him, that they have to make sure that Tyrese Maxey is getting some kind of superstar treatment. And I have zero doubt in my mind that over the last 3 games, while Tyrese Maxey has looked very different and complained more than we've ever seen him complain, go up to officials more than we've ever seen him go up to officials, like literally seek out the official, be like, how's that not a foul? How's that not a foul? I have zero doubt in my mind that this is partly inspired by Nick Nurse. This is coached by Nick Nurse. Like, dude, I can yell so much for you. You got to get in their face too. Always be respectful. I'm not looking for technical fouls. I'm not looking for you to get thrown out of a game, but you need to stand up for yourself. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, as they say. Squeak away, Tyrese Maxey. Squeak away. When we come back, excuse me, fighting a little bit of cold. I believe it's a record for vagueness, and there's been a lot of vagueness. Like even before Joel Embiid. 76ers with Adam Aaron. They were just talking about that. Remember that guy, that Andrew Bynum fella? Tuesdays with Bynum. Remember those days? Yeah. There was a lot of vagueness going on there. I don't think anything will ever top that amount of vagueness. How'd the knee feel? Good. You going to play? I don't know. Nice new haircut. Thanks. I like it. Okay. Nothing will ever top that. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. But when it comes to Joel Embiid, there's been a lot of vague things said. I'm going to read for you the exact quote from Nick Nurse pregame that I believe sets a new all-time vagueness high surrounding Joel Embiid. Before I go, I do have to tell you this particular episode of Locked On 76ers Postcast is brought to you by the wonderful people of FanDuel. Take advantage of all FanDuel has to offer right now. FanDuel, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's with FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Get started today at FanDuel.com. Robin Hood Gold With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.25% APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributions. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. That's robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC. Also, coming up a little bit later in the show, we will get to our chat check as we do per usual. Get how you guys are feeling about this Philadelphia 76ers victory. Don't get to say that too many times. But tell me if this is odd to you, because I found it very odd when I was listening to his pregame interview, and that's Nick Nurse. And I perused social media. I don't see him saying anything else about Joel Embiid. I'll check that again in a moment. But after the game, before the game, he gets asked a couple of follow-up questions with it, by the way. And basically every moment has gone like this surrounding Joel Embiid. It's gone, hey, Nick Nurse, you said that he looked good. Still looking good? And Nick Nurse is like, well, he practiced, and he went out there, and he was in practice, and he ran around, and the swelling's down in the knee. And it's like, well, what about the next game? Well, he's going to play against the Bulls, maybe? And this is where the vague championship was won by Nick Nurse. Hope that there's a chance that he can play in the next one. All right, here it is again. Hope that there's a chance that he can play in the next one. So, for all the people that like to comment on the comments in the show here about how, so you're saying there's a chance, and you like to go Lloyd Christmas, Dumb and Dumber, Jim Carrey. So you're saying there's a chance. No. He's not saying that if there's a chance, that's vague. To double down James Bond 007 style, double down on this, hope there's a chance. So he's not even saying there's a chance. He's hoping there's a chance that Joel Embiid plays against the next one. This just springs me into, because the thing that is so banana sandwich to me about this whole ordeal is that Joel Embiid isn't hurt. It's injury management. So is he injured or is he not? This is still something that I can't, like, the word management is another vague term that's just thrown in there, because you're not talking about a guy who's like, oh my God, it's my knee. It's just so much pain. I can't even play. You're talking about managing it. So when you say you're managing it, does this mean he could play once every 2 weeks and that's how you manage it? And then what? The playoffs are a month away and then he plays every day? What are we doing here? So you're just managing it now, but he's not hurt, but the swelling's down. So he played 38 minutes in the game, in his last game. And then I guess the swelling was just absolutely too much to take, and he couldn't do anything with it after that. And then they had to shut him down. I want to say it was against, Miami. He played. They had the team meeting where hopefully people were crossing their fingers that everyone was understanding their role on the team now, and that they were going to be better, and that they were going to be on the same page, and Joel Embiid was going to be on time to stuff. And then it was the game after the game against the Miami Heat where they played the Memphis Grizzlies and unfortunately lost 117-111. But in that game, Joel Embiid dropped in 35 points in 35 minutes. A point a minute. And we haven't seen him since. That was, to give you the date on that game, that was all the way back on the 20th of November. So, yeah, it's been 16 days now since Joel Embiid has played. The swelling's just going down now. You've been managing it this whole time, and now I guess 15 days into it, his swelling just went down. As optimistic as I've tried to be about Joel Embiid this season, for me, this is just trending towards a shutdown. That's what this is trending towards. I hope this isn't trending towards what other people are assuming it's going to trend towards, which is just he's done. I really hope Joel Embiid is not done. And I really, even more so than that, I hope we don't get dragged along for the next 5 years while he attempts to play every once in a while just to make that money. I'm going to go ahead and cross my fingers that that's not going to happen. Please and thank you, Joel Embiid. When we come back, we'll take a look at your comments. And also, I just got to give another hat tip. Oh, my goodness gracious. To KJ Martin, what he was able to do tonight, and also some other guys that really stepped up in that fourth quarter when things started to get a little scary for the 76ers against the Orlando Magic. That's when we return on Locked On Sports Philadelphia on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is Locked On 76ers Postcast. Back after this. Oh, you heard me talking about FanDuel earlier. How awesome is FanDuel? FanDuel's great. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place the live bets on the NFL, all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the very same page you place your bets. All you got to do is visit FanDuel.com to join today, and you can get in on this NFL action. Right now, the Lions, they're at plus 70, or should be plus 270 right now for winning the Super Bowl. Your Philadelphia Eagles are right behind them, as are the Buffalo Bills at plus 500. The Kansas City Chiefs now plus 550. Baltimore Ravens at plus 1,000. And the Minnesota Vikings at plus 1,700. As for regular season MVP, right now, Josh Allen in the lead at minus 250. Saquon Barkley coming up the rear at plus 400. Lamar Jackson at plus 900. That's Lamar Jackson. Jared Goff at plus 1,200. Patrick Mahomes plus 1,600. And Jalen Hurts at plus 4,000. That's what we're looking at right now. You'll get in all the action with FanDuel. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Couple of guys that deserve a shout out tonight for their performances to help the 76ers really help put away the Orlando Magic. And this came late in the game. I mentioned Paul George hitting a step back three to start things off in that fourth quarter. Then all of a sudden, Mo Wagner ended up knocking down a three. Cole Anthony knocked down a three. And then KJ Martin with 7:45 remaining in the game. And the Magic actually pulling to within 9, I think, at that point. 7:45 remaining. KJ Martin hits a layup, gives him 18 points. And it was a rally killer because the Magic go on a nice run. I think it was a 12-0 12-2 run maybe. And then Nick Nurse calls timeout. And coming out of that timeout, KJ Martin gets the layup to help nullify and extinguish the fiery rally that the Orlando Magic had started there in that fourth quarter. And then after you saw that from him, you started to see some other guys come to life. Paul George went to the free throw line, made his free throws. Oh, I have teased that a number of times tonight, and I have not delivered on that. One of the things that the Sixers really struggled with tonight that was pretty off, out of character, was their free throw percentage tonight was terrible. They came in, what did they finish at? 65% from the charity stripe, while the Magic were 88% from the free throw line. Sixers shot 29 free throws tonight. They only made 19. That's terrible. That is god-awful. But yeah, they were able to overcome that. Kelly Oubre is another guy that I got to mention. He was able to hit a couple of threes throughout the night as well to help the Sixers get back on track. Gershon Yabusele went down with a three-pointer, hit a three-pointer, helped give the Sixers an 87-74 lead, reestablish momentum. Kelly Oubre had a follow-up jam to help the Sixers cause. Maxey was going to the foul line. Yeah, Gershon, Maxey, KJ Martin, and Kelly Oubre tonight really helped the Sixers stay in control of this basketball game. And at one point, their largest lead of this evening, I believe it was 19. Did they get it up to 19? Or did they stay at 17? Yeah, take your time, technology. 17. 17 points was the largest lead for the Sixers. Let's get into the chat check and see how you wonderful people are doing on this fine Friday evening on the heels of the 76ers getting the win, 102-94 over the Orlando Magic and improving to 6-15 on the season. Bam Man 100, what's going on? KJ Martin game, the KJ Martin game. Great win against a good team. Worried about Maxey's slump, though. As am I. 2 for 21 last 3 games. Can't do that. I made the joke on the last show, Wednesday night, and I was like, did whatever Jared McCain had with like the missing threes cold, apparently that's very contagious, and now Tyrese Maxey's got it. So that ain't good. Crazy, what's going on? Maxey has been abysmal. Well, I wouldn't say abysmal. He's been bad. He's found a way to help in the fourth quarter. And again, you could reference the Hornets game. I'm not losing my mind. I'm not concerned. Like I asked the question when I tweeted out the show link and all that. I was like, I asked the question, concerned. I'm not concerned about Tyrese Maxey. My big point Wednesday night was if you're not going to have Paul George, if you're not going to have Joel Embiid, then you can't have Tyrese Maxey go 1 for 7 from beyond the arc. Like that, no, that can't be. But it's 3 games, and in one of these games, without him playing the way he played in the fourth quarter, you don't win. Possibly, if he doesn't step up in that third quarter and drop in 8 points, you possibly don't win this game tonight. Maybe that's the Magic riding the ship in Tyrese Maxey's slump in the third quarter and taking advantage. Sixers ended up winning that quarter by 3 points. They dominated the second quarter. They won that quarter by 11 points. Bam Man 100, will you pry Kyle Lowry from Nick Nurse's cold dead hands? From my cold dead hands. Anyway, don't get me started. I don't understand Ben Gordon. I kind of understood Kyle Lowry. But now watching Kyle Lowry, I guess he's supposed to be the playing player manager, player assistant coach. I don't know, man. I don't know what you get from him other than off the court stuff. But I don't know if this team needs that anymore. Like Maxey's a leader now. The guys seem to love him. I guess you need him to roll his eyes at Jared McCain doing a TikTok and then all of a sudden befriend him. He needs to wear a sweatshirt with tape over it that says coach. I don't know. Maybe he's the mascot. Maybe he's the Garrett Stubbs of this team. I don't know. But I don't get it. You got leadership on this team. Maxey is a leader. If Maxey's calling out Joel Embiid in a team meeting, I think Maxey's taking over the leadership role of this team. I think Paul George could be a leader. I know he's the new guy, but he's pretty damn good. So I don't understand Kyle Lowry either. Kyle Lowry was subbed in 10-2 run. That's right. That did happen. Bam Man, well, yabba dabba doo. Hell yeah. Sixers made 7 3-pointers tonight. 7 threes on 7 of 26 shooting. By comparison, the Magic shot 13 of 46 tonight. Did I have it at halftime? I did have it at halftime. Okay. End of the first half. Maxey had 3 points by the end of the first half. Now that's abysmal. That I'll agree with you on. KJ had 12. Paul George had 12. Sixers led by 9 at the half. Orlando was shooting 19% from 3 on 5 of 26 shooting. They were 0 for 13 from 3 in the second quarter. That's terrible. That's really bad. Oh, wait, did I even mention Andre Drummond's numbers tonight? What did Drummond end up with? Did he get 12 boards? 11 boards. 5 of them offensive. Keep it coming, big fella. All right, your 10-9-8 76ers, with or without Joel Embiid, will look for their 7th win of the season when they take on the Chicago Bulls at 1 o'clock. As you might assume, if you follow all Philadelphia sports, there will not be a postcast that day. There will not be a 76ers postcast, at least, when the Sixers take on the 10-14 Bulls. Instead, there will be a Philadelphia Eagles postcast right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia, hosted by Jason Martinez and Harry Mays. They have you covered right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia following the Eagles' 1 o'clock kickoff with the terrible Carolina Panthers. My prediction for that one is 37-10. Eagles win that. But Harry Mays, Jason Martinez have you covered right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia. That's Locked On Sports Philadelphia. For all your postcast needs, you got me covering the Sixers. You got Harry Mays, Jason Martinez covering the Eagles for you. And then I'll be back with you guys again for Phillies baseball season. Looking forward to that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. That's Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Catch you guys, if we don't have a postcast for the Sixers on Monday. Sixers' next game after that would be the Bing Bang Boom. Oh, that's right. They got the week off. Friday against the Indiana Pacers. Friday, the 13th. I'll miss you guys. But enjoy Harry. And enjoy Jason Martinez on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. See you guys Friday. See you then. Bye.